We are self-aware when we have a clear perception of our personality, including strengths, weaknesses, thoughts, beliefs, motivations, and emotions, and how those are perceived by others. Try thinking back to the first time that you've heard of something or someone being self-aware. I know the first thing that jumps in my mind is the movie Terminator 2 that came out in 1991, with the famous line that Cyberdyne's artificial intelligence became self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time on August 29th. In that moment, the end of the world had begun. Now, the type of self-awareness we're talking about will not end with the destruction of Earth, but instead can begin a new chapter of success in your leadership style. Self-awareness can enable you to not only understand what you're feeling, but also communicate your feelings in an appropriate way to those that you interact with. Why is self-awareness important for leaders? Well, ask yourselves this. Have you ever been around someone where you just wonder if they ever think twice about how they act or how they respond to certain situations? Maybe you know if something doesn't go well for someone, they're going to overreact, no matter who's around. Or maybe you know someone who, instead of voicing their frustration in an appropriate setting, they may keep it inside and bottle it up. Maybe that someone is you, and you're too afraid to admit it, or even worse, you are blinded to your actions and don't consider the feedback from those around you. It's so important that you become self-aware because all eyes are on you, whether or not you have a title or a position of leadership. People are always watching what you say and what you do, and it's important that we portray something that's positive. But no matter the intention of how we interact with others, we must be careful on how our actions are perceived. One of the best ways that we can model self-awareness is by practicing reflection. Have you found yourself in situations that were tense or where you had to deliver bad news? Do you ever reflect on those times? Do you ever get feedback from those that were in those conversations? And do you ever try to improve the areas you felt like didn't go well for future conversations? Reflection is a way where we can practice self-awareness. It brings clarity to the portions of our lives that we might not think twice about, but that greatly impact those around us. This is a quality that is important for students because they are the leaders of the future. If a student doesn't understand how to process their emotions, if students don't take time to reflect on why things went well or why things didn't go well, if students don't learn their emotional triggers, then how can we expect them to manage themselves later in life? In a world where everything has to be given to me now, and if that doesn't happen, well, you owe me something for the time you've wasted, self-awareness couldn't be a more critical quality that needs to be learned amongst every generation.